Our final speaker, before we present these letters, is Abdullah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me like this okay? Should I try? That's alright. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. Mr. Rudds, Mr. Kevin Rudds, Mr. Prime Minister, you are the elected leader in which we have come today to address. It is you, Mr. Rudds, that this is being directed to. Mr. Prime Minister, as an elected leader of this country, as the father of this country, as the representative of this country, as the decision maker of this country, we are directing this at you, Mr. Rudds. Mr. Kevin Rudds, in 1945, in San Francisco, Australia was one of the forerunners in drafting out the Charter for the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Mr. Rudds, our Foreign Minister at the time, Dr. xvid, proceeded over the General Assembly in writing the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Mr. Kevin Rudds, tragically you have failed to adhere to the United Nations resolutions, to the Geneva Conventions. Tragically, Mr. Rudds, you have not lived up to the aspirations of Dr. xvid when he wrote up the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Mr. Kevin Rudds, we are not here to ask you, or to plead with you, or to request of you. I'm here to challenge you, Mr. Rudds. Mr. Rudds, the United Nations has reportedly and constantly demanded of the apartheid state of Israel to stop. It has asked it to cease fire, to adhere to international law. Mr. Rudds, I'm sure you know this. I'm sure your foreign ministry have told you that Israel has committed an act of terrorism. It is not I that is saying this, it is the United Nations that is saying this. Quote, an act of terrorism, unquote, the United Nations. Mr. Kevin Rudds, there is no exceptions to fighting the war on terrorism. Mr. Kevin Rudds and Miss Julia Gillard, undeniably, unquestionably, systematically, Israel has spat in the face of the international community. It has picked up all the United Nations resolutions that have been placed on it and threw it in our face, threw it in Australia's face. United Nations Resolution 242, 338, 446, 465, 476, 478, 904, 1397, Resolution 1544 has been shattered by the apartheid state of Israel. Article 14 of the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights, the Child Rights Convention, the 4th Geneva Convention, and all the associated articles in the 4th Geneva Convention. The Geneva Convention against torture and other cruel and inhumane degrading treatment or punishment. Mr. Rudds, you know this. If the people of Australia to know what you know, if the people of Australia were to know that you remained silent on the breaches of Article 17 and 10 of the International Covenant of Civil and Policy Rights, and Articles 31, 32 and 14 of the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights, as I said. In fact, There's 149 substantive articles of the 4th Geneva Convention that protect the rights of each and every individual Palestinian living in occupied Palestine. Israel has violated this since 1967, and as such are considered as war crimes. Mr. Prime Minister, I'm standing here today, I'm speaking to you today on behalf of every Aussie that believes in the right to exist, the right to freedom, the right to live without fear of Israeli terror. Like I said, Mr. Prime Minister, I'm not standing here to plead with you or to ask you. I am challenging you. I am challenging you. I am challenging you to uphold the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights justly, to uphold the Geneva Conventions unbiasedly. As a member state of the United Nations, to uphold the resolution that Israel has violated. Mr. Prime Minister, I challenge you to challenge the apartheid state of Israel. Mr. Prime Minister, do not bow down to political pressures. Rather, uphold international law, humanitarian law. Mr. Prime Minister, your predecessors did not bow down to political pressures in East Timor, in Africa, in Zimbabwe. Mr. Prime Minister, I challenge you to rise and speak as the rest of the shakers and movers of our time have spoken. I challenge you to rub shoulders, if you dare, with the Archbishop Desmond Tutu, with Nelson Mandela, with the British Foreign Minister, with Jimmy Carter. I challenge you to speak up against the apartheid state of Israel, and as the United Nations have said it, the terrorist state. Mr. Prime Minister, the kids are going to fill these boxes with letters. There's well over 1,000 letters, close to 2,000 letters signed, petitioned, demanding, asking, requesting of you to write back, to speak publicly, to accept my challenge, to accept everybody standing here and everybody that signed these letters is challenge. Please, kids.
Free, free Palestine!
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 Stop the killing, stop the lies, cut all Israel ties! Stop the killing, stop the lies, cut all